It's Jacket with a quick update that not too many people are talking about since the recent patch came out for Diablo 4. This little line of text right here is what I'm talking about. So in patch 1.0.4, Blizzard fixed how shadow mages interact with the shadowblight key passive. Now the shadow damage from the mages will trigger shadowblight, and they will also trigger up the follow-up damage that will add up to the stacks that proc the shadow damage. What this means is that two legendary affixes have been greatly buffed. The Shadow Mages have been greatly buffed. They have an extra attack that allows them to add to even more of the stacks being stacked up for you here. And we do have stacks on stacks on stacks. It's quite amazing. And I'm really excited to talk about it. So the two legendary affixes that have been buffed pseudo, they've not really been buffed in a patch note, but now you can actually utilize them in a way to rapidly get their procs going is the blighted aspect and the aspect of decay. So I'll have them up here on the screen so we could talk about them. But the blighted aspect says that you deal anywhere between 50 and 120% increased damage for 6 seconds after the Shadowblight key passive damages enemies 10 times. This works exactly as it states now and even applies to your minions. So they do not get the full buff, it seems, but when the buff is up, you can notice a sizable damage increase from the floor. This was a testing comparison. Some of the ground numbers, as I was just mentioning, as it seems easier to make a determination based off of what some of the lower damage numbers was. I think we were seeing like high 5,000s, like 5,800, and then we weren't seeing that at all once the proc was up. So that's really, really good. That means they will get a slight bump from this going up. And if you put this on your weapon, you can get it up to 240% increased damage, which is going to be amazing. And that does apply to all of your damage. So I can imagine that some insane shadow builds are going to be coming out for Necromancer. Probably going to do one myself here. But overall, it seemed reasonable to believe that this modifier is aligned with that 30% increase that minions are supposed to receive. And the other aspect, the aspect of decay, each time the Shadowblight key passive deals damage to enemies, it increases the next Shadowblight's damage within 10 seconds by 20 to 40%, stacking up to 5 times. Now this can be quite massive. I'm assuming this will go on a necklace, as the Blighted aspect is just too hard to pass up on a weapon if you're going to use it, but you know, even a 60% increase by 5 times, it's 300% increased damage for just the Shadowblight key passive. You know, it's become exponentially easier to proc. We have procs that are going to be going out of the left and right. It's going to be going off all the time. You pair it with Blight, Corpse Explosion, that leaves the patch on the ground. You have your Shadow Mages now. If you're using Sever too, all of these things stack up, and you could just rapidly get these stacks going. So I imagine this is going to be quite insane now. I do have some more testing I want to do with this aspect. I didn't have one at the time of recording this, but we can take multiple sources of shadow damage, like I was saying, to ramp it up. It doesn't seem like Shadow Blight is itself a damage over time. It does seem like it's a one proc damage. Some other key points I'm noticing here, it's worth noting that in my testing with a minion build, Shadow Blight didn't do an insane amount of damage. I took off all my passive for damage modifiers, so we're talking amplified damage, we're talking fueled by death, we're talking Hellbent Commander. I took off everything I could think of, even in the Paragon board. We took off everything that we could think of to just get a raw test of how it impacts the minions, of how the damage, if it did apply, if it did not apply, and to see how that interaction worked with Blighted aspect. And it does seem like it's going to apply to the minions, so that is very good. I'm fairly confident that Shadowblight does not count as that damage over time, so things like the Wither Paragon node won't affect it. But we'll do some more testing once we get that aspect, now that we have seen this patch come through. And if I do find out it does affect it, I will update it in the pinned comments below of this video. And to not leave out the main point here is that the Summon Skeleton Mages increase this proc rate by a mile. They're going to be attacking at a rapid speed. You can do plenty of things to give them extra attack speed, and it just makes stacking that Shadow Blight so much easier. So I urge you, go out there and test, go out and look for yourself for these aspects. Do not throw them away anymore. I do see some insane shadow builds coming out, and we do have some pretty interesting shadow builds that currently exist that are going to get so much better with these mages now being able to be available. So that's it from me. I just wanted to make this quick video to update everyone on this. I will start working on a shadow build right away, so look forward to that in the future. We have some hardcore builds that are going to be coming out for Necromancer soon, so keep an eye out for that. And I do appreciate y'all watching, so make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.